Hey everyone, this is Cedrick, also Red Hair Protagonist on YouTube. I'm going to be sharing with you my Guardian build today. This is a frontline heavy build that does good damage and has very strong survival. The whole goal of this build is to tank as much of the enemy Zerg's damage as you can for your team, and in the whole process you'll be doing a good deal of damage too. The survival aspect of the build actually doesn't come from an inflated vitality score either. It comes from high crit rate and a constant stream of healing from Altruistic Healing and traits like Empowering Might and your Vigor on crit. Also, like I just said, Vigor on crit's there, so you're going to have more dodging opportunities, along with an even higher dodging rate when you apply a specific food buff we'll get to in the traits section. If you want to play this build the way I do, it's really important to constantly be tagging every enemy you can possible, because I try to push all the way back to the back of the enemy lines. It generally scares them. I try to get on siege and distract and kill siege when I can, but as long as you're tagging everything as you're moving along, generally your army is right behind you and you'll get a lot of rallies off kills just randomly. So don't give up, and when you're in a bad situation where they have siege up and stuff, just run out there and do your best to just take care of it. You can do it. Combine that with the fact that you can rapidly heal yourself by getting back to your Zerg and then using stuff like staff and power, and just get right back in there and keep doing it. Kill siege, get in the back of their lines, make sure that they are scared and being pushed back, and you're in the middle of them absorbing and mitigating as much damage with your consecration as possible. This is one of the most important things about playing this build properly, or at least the way that I like to play this build. We'll quickly go through the skills, because I'm sure most of you are pretty familiar with it. Wall Reflection's great for reflecting damage back at enemies, and that's damage you're not taking. A big part of this is tanking as much of the enemy Zerg as possible. I like to follow up with a Sanctuary Bubble, which accomplishes the same thing, only with a knockback and absorb instead of reflect. Then, as that goes down, I pop my Renewed Focus. This will give you the 3-second invuln and refresh your virtues. You can immediately pop those virtues for the boons and the heals you'll get from them. That's really good combo if your goal in a situation is just tank. One of the best things about Sanctuary Bubble though is being able to use it aggressively. Sanctuary Bubble not only absorbs damage and would be used to protect allies, but for a Zerg stack that I'm seeing right here, drop a Sanctuary Bubble right in the middle of them. See what happens. They all get knocked around and it just completely ruins their stack. It also absorbs a lot of the damage they're trying to put out. They scatter. I try to break some off with a line of warding from Staff 5. This is all part of being a really aggressive frontline player with this build, and it's very, very important. I actually had some trouble landing my Sanctuary Bubble here though, because this was right after the culling fix. So these players were able to see me a lot easier than they used to be able to, and they were able to knock me back and CC me with ease, honestly. So to fix this, there's a trait to use ranged consecration, and this was the point when I changed my trait from shorter cooldowns and longer duration to that, and it was an amazing change, because on top of being able to cast it from a distance, it also lowers the animation time and you cast it faster for some reason. It's great for chasing down big mobile Zergs and breaking them apart. After I made the switch to ranged Sanctuary casting, it was probably one of the most enlightening moments for me in a while playing this kind of a build. It really works great, especially when the Zerg stacks are trying to be mobile. You'll see me be able to place a bubble from a distance here, and will actually break off a chunk of their Zerg stack. I follow up with a line of warding to block them even further and give my allies a chance to finish them off, and we just wiped a nice little chunk of their Zerg. You'll be wanting to do this a lot, especially since these Zerg stacking tactics are pretty common, or at least they are in the tier I'm in right now. Also, on my hotbar you'll see I have Save Yourself. That is used as a stun break and a buff for whatever situation you want. And I believe we covered all the other skills. Your healing is a healing signet, and the nice thing about it is a passive condition removal. Along with another trait, you'll have 2 passive condition removals every 10 seconds, and that's where all your condition removal comes from. Next we're going to go over your traits and food buffs. This is an altruistic healing build that relies on the crit effects from your honor tree to increase your survival. How this all works is your altruistic healing makes it so every time you apply a boon to yourself or allies, you get healed. There's two traits in the honor tree that really take advantage of this effect. One is your empowering might, and the other one is your vigorous precision. Empowering might is the one that's going to give you your constant stream of healing. This makes it so every time you crit, you apply might to yourself and allies around you. This will be triggering your altruistic healing consistently throughout a fight as long as your crit rate is high enough. And this is where a lot of your survival comes in, on top of providing a damage boost for yourself and allies. The other thing that really increases your survival is your vigorous precision. As long as your crit rate's high enough, you pretty much have permanent vigor in this build. And vigor increases your endurance refill rate, so you can dodge more often. One thing with dodging is you also heal in an AoE at the end of your dodge with this build. This will provide great healing for yourself and allies around you in the middle of the front lines, and also dodging more often just means you're mitigating more damage and blocking and dodging enemy attacks in CC. To make this even more useful, you can increase both these stats through food buffs. Ryan and Truffle and Meat Stew makes it so every time you dodge, you apply might to yourself, as well as get the 40% endurance refill rate. This will stack with your vigor, making it so you can dodge an insane amount in a fight. Also, Master Maintenance Oils make it so you have more precision, so you just crit more often, and make sure you're consistently getting off your empowering might and your vigorous precision. The other traits in this build are really self-explanatory. You have Purity for more condition removal, Retributive Armor for higher precision, Two-Handed Mastery to decrease the cooldowns on your staff and your greatsword, and Consecrated Ground for ranged consecration casting for your Sanctuary and Wall of Reflection. Also, you have Inspired Virtues, which makes it so every time you apply a virtue, it also applies boons to allies around you and yourself. This creates an effect that basically gives you a burst heal if you pop all your boons, use your renewed focus for that 3-second invuln, and pop your boons again. This will shoot your HP up as well as give you a good protection and regeneration bonus to yourself and all allies around you. As for the gear for this build, now that you know the traits, this should probably all make perfect sense to you. Do not use my attributes as a reference though. My gear is not perfect yet. I actually need more Ascended All-Stat jewelry. I choose All-Stat jewelry as my type of main jewelry choice because, well, for one, they recently increased the amount of All-Stat jewelry stats that you get. And two, it's the most bang for your buck, and Guardians get benefit from pretty much every stat possible. You do burning damage from your virtues, you're doing a lot of different types of healing, you're critting a lot, so more crit damage is great, and all the other stats just benefit you too. My jewelry is not perfect, so eventually I should be even stronger, hopefully. When it comes to your armor, you want to go Knight's Gear. With Knight's Gear, you're going to be putting in Superior Runes Divinity too, which again is another all-stat thing, which benefits you everywhere, including more crit damage. Right now, I'm at 75% increased critical damage bonus, and when I eat my food, I'm up to 46 crit chance, which is a pretty decent crit rate, enough to constantly be getting streams of healing from Empowering Might and consistently having my Vigor boon up. For weapon choices, the Greatsword is your primary damage weapon, and again, it'll be Knights with a Sigil of Superior Strength, which makes it so every time you crit, you have a chance to gain Might. Gaining Might will also heal you from Altruistic Healing, and that's why I choose that Sigil. But for your Staff, I actually choose Power, Toughness, Healing Power, because Staff is generally a more defensive weapon that I use when I'm backing out of a fight. And I also put my Superior Sigil of Perception on there to stack precision stacks to increase my crit rate even further. And I think that covers just about everything with this build. If you guys have any questions or comments, just leave one here and I'm happy to get back to you. If you guys are interested in seeing more gameplay footage, there's some videos already posted on my channel and plenty more to come. You could also probably expect an engineer video from me eventually, probably focused towards tournament PvP. So I hope this is a build some of you will be interested in trying out. I think it's a lot of fun and I'm happy to share it with you guys. See you all on the battlefield.